Developments this morning from Boston.
While you were sleeping, Boston police were seen searching an apartment building near the scene of yesterday's bombings at the Boston Marathon. The fire department said it was a search for a person of interest. Police are also looking for a man seen leaving the blast area in dark clothes and a hood, as well as a rental truck that tried to enter the area near the finish line. There were 2 explosions that went off a little more than 4 hours into the race. The blast killed 3 people, including an 8-year-old boy. His mom and sister were also injured while waiting for their father to finish the race. 144 people are recovering from injuries this morning. Doctors say they're treating wounds from the blast impact and flying debris.
This morning, security, as you know, is being tightened at landmarks like government buildings, transit hubs, and sporting events around the U.S. and really around the world. Officials say it is just a precautionary measure, but they are taking this very seriously. We wanted to know, what does this mean for us here in Austin? What are the current security measures that are taking place here? So we, of course, invited Austin Police Chief Art Acevedo for more on that. Thank you and good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys. How y'all doing this morning?
Well, we're okay. What was your initial reaction after hearing the news yesterday?
Well, just a deep sadness. You know, the Boston Marathon is really the world's event. People come from all over the world, and I've got friends there. The commissioner, Ed Davis, is a personal friend. And when you hear about people dying and being injured, that's something that should be nothing more but a celebration. It just saddens you. And then you start worrying about your own city and what it means for us moving forward.
Right, because running marathons are a spectator event, right? That's what makes it so fun, is that it's so open and the route. And we being a running community, it makes you think, what do we need to do here, Chief, in Austin to make sure something like this doesn't happen here? And if it does, how are we going to be ready?
Well, I mean, listen, you're never 100% secure from these type of events. But what we have to do, you know, Austin's a pretty kickback city. We have the mentality it'll never happen here, it can't happen here. Well, we've already had a Joseph Stack type of situation here where things like this happen. We just have to be vigilant. We have to be aware. When you see packages and somebody just put it down and walk away, you know, that should make a light bulb go off in your head. You need to call somebody, tell somebody, call 911 right away. Don't take things for granted, and just be the eyes and ears for one another. It's important for a city of 830,000 people to have everyone engaged, not just the police.
As a chief, are you talking to some of the marathon organizers, the runs that are happening around town in the future, even the MotoGP at the Circuit of the Americas?
Well, we will be reaching out to all of those folks to start educating them on the importance of vigilance. Because again, I don't think people understand the importance of making sure that things that aren't just left around, so they will stick out. You know, that people have to be, we have to treat these finish lines, especially where there's a lot of congregation of people, as an airport. You don't leave a bag at an airport sticking around. We should not do things like that in our races. I think we're going to have to work really hard to change the mindset of the folks we are involved with.
Forensically, any idea of where they kind of pick up today?
Well, in Boston, I mean, they've got a lot of work to do. Fortunately, the FBI is involved, ATF, just about every agency you can imagine. But you just have to go from the point of detonation and start working your way back. Boston's got a pretty extensive security camera system that I'm pretty confident will be very helpful in their investigation. And I'm also confident they're going to be able to identify the person or persons involved, the war organizations, and the American people will know, and they will be brought to justice.
I have to ask you, with all these races that are coming up, and I think 27 just in this month alone here in April, do you have enough officers on the ground who are able to kind of patrol and make sure that they are aware of anything like this?
Well, you know, like I said, well, that's what I was talking about earlier. It's important for all of us. We don't have enough officers to keep everything going at one time, but if everyone's engaged, everyone's aware, and everyone takes the time to be the eyes and ears for their neighbors, their fellow runners, the police department, will be much safer.
Okay.
Thank you for everything that you guys do. Obviously, it's a busy community between the running events and the festivals and just the everyday routine. So thank you so much.
Thanks, guys. Have a great day.
Well, the bombs in Boston are hitting close to home, especially with the active running and fitness communities that we have here. 27 runs, triathlons, and swimming events in Travis County alone for this month. The next big race is happening this Sunday. Thousands of cyclists will finish a 150-mile ride from Houston to Austin.
So obviously this hits very close to home. Sophia Beausoleil continues our coverage on some of the security preps and what the runners are saying over there at Auditorium Shores. Good morning.
Good morning, Sally. So many people are gearing up for this weekend's race, and we talked to organizers who say the race will go on as planned. They're working with security forces to make sure that the event is safe. Yesterday's tragic bombing came at a time when so many cities across the nation, including right here in Austin, are getting ready for all sorts of athletic races this summer. We caught up with John Conley, the organizer of the Live Strong Austin Marathon. He watched the live coverage of the bombings unfold on his computer. Conley says emergency responders did a great job in the midst of yesterday's chaos. He believes race planners here are equally as prepared.
In the back of your mind, you always think about emergency management. You know, race directors organize themselves around participant safety, volunteer safety, spectator safety.
There's always security around, but there's this, fluidity to it where people can come and go, and we have this sense of trust. So when things like this happen, it creates a uneasiness, and that kind of fractures our ability to enjoy the freedoms of America.
And if you've been around town, you've seen signs for the next run, the Schlutzky's Bun Run 5K and 10K, which is on the 28th. Organizers say more than 3,500 people will be there. In a statement, organizers say they put in adequate police and medical response, and in the wake of Boston, they will evaluate current security and medical coverage to determine if we need to expand those efforts on race day. Reporting live downtown, Sophia Beausoleil, KXAN News.